Linda, for your comment. Anybody else that wants to speak? Yes.
If I can speak one more time, Melanie Velarde, 6176 Little York Lake Road. I would just like to, since you were schooled on zebra mussels in your elementary and parochial class on that was given this evening, I would like to add that Song Lake and Little York Lake are pretty similar. Difference, Little York Lake has a public access, so if anybody has zebra mussels, Little York Lake does. Little York Lake residents have come together between two towns and formed a district to help with the weeds, the fishing, the ESF that's there probably 10 times more. I mean, I don't know if you have data on how often ESF is at Song Lake versus Little York, but Little York residents, we have gatherings. We have a nice neighborhood that have come together between two towns to look out for our lake. So I think that the fact that Song Lake is special, I'm learning is special in other ways. Thank you.
Yes.
Quick question. Do you intend to conduct a secret review on this local law? And also, if you could lay out where you intend to go from here, if there's going to be a vote tonight, or whether you intend to do that at a later meeting?
No vote tonight.
Okay. Will you be conducting secret?
We not tonight either.
Okay.
We need to hear from county planning.
Okay.
And you have to refer to them so much in advance that even though we got the notification out shortly after our October meeting, the timing is such that we're not on the county planning agenda. We were not on the county planning's agenda for October. We're on for November, and their meeting is like the 20th, I think. So we can't move forward without the results of their review. Yeah, so it's going to be the December meeting before we could possibly move ahead.
Anyone else? Yes.
So my name is Cindy Robo, and am I supposed to stand up when I do this, or does it matter?
It's better if you stand up.
Okay. I'm just a little confused because I just heard that our own zoning laws allow the short-term rentals because it's in your code. So if it's in your code, why are you singling out the people that have short-term rentals? That doesn't make any sense to me. And I am really concerned about that. Some people think that because they don't like something and they don't, it's hard. And I put my money into this. Every single person on the lake put their money into what they have. They put their heart and their dreams into it. And no one's dreams are more important than anyone else's. That they all need to be taken into consideration together. And I would encourage the board, instead of doing something that is darn near impossible for you to come back from, that you would meet with groups from both sides and mediate this. It can be done. That's your job. You're supposed to represent the whole town, not noisy people, not crabby people, not even nice little old ladies, okay? I'm not one of those, but not even that. You're supposed to take care of all of us, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to do what I voted for you guys to do, because I voted for you. I did. I put money. I believed in you, I trusted you, and I thought you would do the right thing. When you sent out the questionnaire, I thought, oh, good. What everybody wants is going to be taken into consideration. But you didn't do that. And that's wrong. That's your job. That's what I hired you to do. And that's my lawyer sitting right there, because I hired him too. And when I asked him a question about what law it was against I'm sorry, I'm getting heated. I'm not mad at him. I'm just frustrated. When I asked him what law it was against for us to have a referendum that Bill Ludi talked about, maybe we should just have a referendum and let the whole town vote. Then it would be done. You guys had to be off the plate. He said it's against the law. I said, what law is it against? And he got mad at me. He said, ask your lawyer. I didn't have a lawyer. I got him. I hired him. I expected to know that answer. Sorry, John, I'm going under the bus. You know I'm telling you the truth. We need to settle this in a way that's good for everybody. Not this group, not that group, the whole stinking group. Yeah, we're a mess. We're a family. We're Preble. Deal with it. You got us all, like it or not. That's what I
Anybody else?
Can I just
And
ask,
I'm sorry, Don, it's
Just-
true.
Just for point of clarification, I think the last time I represented you was like 20 years ago.
No.
I pay your tax, I pay for your
Oh,
salary.
okay, you
my
hired me,
tax.
I got it now, I got it, okay.
And you did a good job.
Thank you, man.
And I second that motion, so that I'm paying for him to sit here and advise our town board on what the law
For
is.
all
All
of
of
us.
And I defended our country, just like a few other veterans in here did too. And that's why I'm bringing that up again. It's all of us, everybody in this room, we're all in this boat together. Remember that. When you walk out of here and you're gonna be pissed at each other, it's your fault, not the town board's fault.
We need to get along.
Okay, anybody else?
It's like Thanksgiving dinner.
Have you spoken twice?
yeah, Heather Lane, I just want, just for clarification on the process that goes to the county planning.
Mhm.
Could you explain that a little bit? What is the process
I'll let
as
Don
far as,
explain
yeah,
that.
Don?
When
what
this
is-
type of local law is before a board, before they, town board, before they can act on it, it generally must be referred to the county planning department and ultimately to the county planning board for review and recommendation. It's in the state law. You have to do that and you have to wait for their recommendation before you can then take action.
Okay, so the county planning board's recommendations is not something that you, it's recommendations.
We have to have the results before we can act, but there are simply recommendations. They can have an impact on how it might be enacted, but it's a recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else that wants to speak? Going once, going twice, 3 times. Okay, so the public hearing is now over. And in a few minutes, we'll be starting our regular board meeting. You're welcome to stay for the regular board meeting if you want to.
But again, there will be no action taken on this tonight.
Your dog is just.
Not even been at this for a year. I knew it was gonna be like this.
Own you.
Kind of regardless, like, I did represent it, what the hell, I get it now. Got it, all right.
A little slow on the.
It's
on the
okay.
My letters, can you just make sure they get all the record?
I will.
Okay, thank you. All right, thanks.
This is part of the. Looking for skip?
Okay, thank you very much. I was just
Yeah, yeah, right.
Her name is Cynthia. Her name is Cynthia. I wrote down Blumenthal, but I don't think that's her last name. I didn't catch it. Rita might have been. It's Cynthia. Cynthia. It's all I know. She's tough. She's tough. They just yeah. I don't know if there's water. What's next meeting? I forgot about that. I'm glad you mentioned that. Bathroom what? That's not. It's always that way. I figured that something like that would happen. That's Jennifer did. Oh, that's not. No, I mean, I remember when Jack Morgan, you remember the junk cases and all? This is going back. Were you here in 90, 91? Well, that's when I started. Yeah, I mean, we had a public. So, of course, the attorney's a bad guy, so whatever. So be it.
Good evening.
Oh, I got something.
How about you? I said, obviously, I am too.
Tom, get out. Sometimes I've got to hear it. Tom, get out. Tom, get out.
No, I'm not telling them to get out, we're just gonna get started.
Everybody else stand for that. Be quiet.
I just want to.
Executive stand.
Because there was no problem.
Okay, we're gonna start this meeting, sir.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay.
Listen up, people. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the Preble Town Board meeting of November 11th, 2024. And I just want to say that the Preble Town Board does honor all veterans in this room and in the town of Preble for their sacrifice and service to our country.
Thank you, board. A little late, but
Thank you.
well, veterans did leave. It could have been addressed.
Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to the October minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Jen?
Dog control, no report received. Justice report, fines collected in October, $5,767.
Thank you, Jen. Higher report, is Jeff here? Okay.
I know, I think he was coming
Okay,
back.
he'll come back. Recreation, county legislature, Kevin,
Are you ready?
we're ready for you.
So I was actually, today at 2:15, we were at a press conference with Senator Schumer. So I did have this to say. On this Veterans Day, I extend my appreciation to all of you who served and also those who supported families and loved ones in their service. I also ask that you especially remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the service of our great country and their comrades in arms. So the reason why Senator Schumer was here is a pretty big benefit to us. So the Susquehanna Western Railroad that goes through Preble, Portland County, and just received $10 million for restoration of that rail line. And we received, Portland County, with the Susquehanna Western, $4 million from Portland up to Onondaga County. And what this was for is to improve the safety, improve the rail system. It's going to be totally leveled and refitted. And what this is for the preparation for Micron. And it is also looking at revitalizing the rail line through the city of Portland. And it's a huge driver for us to where we can actually have the proper infrastructure for industry come into Portland. So, any questions on that? Yeah.
Pete Norman, do you have any concerns with the incoming administration killing the CHIPS Act?
No, actually, so Senator Schumer actually is the one who was the driver for that. And it is in the law for the CHIPS Act. It cannot be changed. Yeah, that was actually a reporter asked that one.
No.
He asked one question of the railroad and then 10 questions about and everything, but, we did work very well with Senator Schumer, you know, through the years, and I think you know, we'll continue, to work with him. You know, he was a provider, I think 3.5 million or so, for our mental health building that is being under construction right now. So he is a good advocate for Portland County. Anything else? Okay.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Jen?
Zoning and code enforcement, October report, 2 building permits, 84 miles traveled, 11 building inspections, 57 hours worked, 2 fire inspections, 5 complaint follow-ups, 57 telephone inquiries. Rick will be out of the office on Monday, 11/18 and Monday, 11/25. The next planning board meeting is November 20th at 7 PM. The next zoning board meeting is December 5th at 7 PM. No historian report received for the month. Town clerk fees collected in October, $585. Dispersed $574 to the town of Preble and $11 to New York State Ag and Markets.
Thanks, Jen. Unfinished business, short-term rentals. Does the board have any questions or concerns that they want to talk about at this time regarding short-term rentals? Any comments? No? Okay.
I need some time to digest that meeting.
Okay, good. That's a good idea. Next item, unfinished business, 2025 town budget. We need to adopt the budget for next year. We went over that in a working meeting. We had a public hearing also on it. So we got all the wrinkles out of that. So we need someone to make a motion to accept the town
Was
budget.
that in the paper? I didn't see it, because I didn't know it was a public hearing.
It was there. It was there.
I didn't see it.
No.
When was it in?
Well, it was last Monday that we had it.
Yeah, but when was it in the paper?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I can't tell you. But it was, it was posted. Okay, so I need a motion to,
I'll make a motion to town 2025 town budget.
Second.
all in favor?
All right.
Harry? New business. There's a new house that's being built on the seasonal access road on East Hill. Quite a ways off the paved highway. And I was talking to Don about this morning. Don, can you comment on, I guess my question is, if somebody wants to live that far off the paved road, is it their responsibility to get a 4-wheel drive in the winter to drive themselves back to civilization and back to their house again? I mean, or, how does this work when somebody wants to live that far out? What responsibility does the town have on this?
Well, there are seasonal use highways. The town has traditionally designated some highways as seasonal use, which means that from November 1, I think, through the end of April, you can close the highway and declare that we don't have to maintain it. And it's closed. It's closed to through traffic. That changes when someone builds a house on that road. Because you can't declare it as seasonal use if there's a residence. You got to maintain the road. So I realize that this particular, the East Hill Road, I haven't been on a long time, but I assume it's not an easy road to maintain in the wintertime. But I think we're gonna have an obligation to do so. I mean, it doesn't mean that we've got to maintain it like, a paved road down here traveled all the time, but we'll have an obligation to maintain it for safe travel. Obviously, if the wind conditions and so on are different up there, and the steepness, the grade, that kind of thing, those are all factors we can't change. But we'll have an obligation to keep the road open.
Okay, so that's a topic that's ongoing, will be ongoing probably for the next few months. And Scott, you had to do that.
Yeah, it was a seasonal road. Actually, it was the sheriff who put a house up there. And they, once they ran the line and everything, then we were required to actually go resurface and that. The plus to it was that that does get added to the road mileage for chips. But, yeah, yes.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Monies received, we received $779 from USPS. We received $1,771.89 from Northeast Transformers. We received $1,457.49 from Portland County for seniors. We received $3,385 from National Grid streetlight incentives. Those are the new streetlights we put in.
Right, yeah, we got that.
Now it's time to pay the bills. We need a motion to pay the general fund vouchers.
I'll make a motion to pay general voucher fund, fund vouchers, abstracts on number 11. Numbers 212 through 225 totaling $6,510.85.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We need a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers.
I'll make a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers abstract number 11, numbers 122 to 133, totaling $28,956.42.
Second.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, at this time, we would like to open up the meeting for public comment. We're done with our regular meeting for the month. So anybody who has any questions for the board, unlike a public hearing, we can actually have a little dialogue here and answer some questions. Yeah, yes.
I would tell that I have to be kind now.
That's right.
You have a smart wife. Just saying.
In reference to your town clerk's reading of the code enforcement officer's report, how do I, as a taxpayer in the town of Preble, do I have to do a Freedom of Information Act to start assessing and looking at those violations and his reports that we don't seem to ever hear what the outcome was that I could, do I have to access to the town clerk? Do I have to do a Freedom of Information just to get into those violations that she reported that he went out and did? We don't know what they were about and what the outcomes were.
Are you talking about the fire inspections?
No, she had in her code enforcement officer's report,
5 complaints.
he had 5 complaints.
Oh, okay.
How do I, as a taxpayer, access those through the proper?
Well, anybody can come and see Jen, the town clerk, and inquire about these things, right, Jen? Can you comment on that a little bit?
Yeah, I would say probably put in a FOIL request.
You do want a
and
FOIL
I will have
request.
to get that information from Rick for you.
So I go, and is there a fee for that FOIL request?
There is, I believe,
Now, is that a fee or a
50
tax?
50 cents a page,
Is that
unless
a
I
fee or a
email it
tax?
to you. Pardon me?
Is that a fee or a tax?
It's a fee.
But it's my question as a
Okay.
taxpayer, how come it has to be a fee then?
If I email it to you, there's no fee. If I print out the paper copies, there's a fee.
That's paper.
Right. Right, yes.
I understand it's your time, but I've come to a couple of these board meetings now, and I've heard of these violations, but yet it never gets said what the violations are. So that's why, as I spoke to Mr. Grieve in that little intermission, I am very upset because I'm not hearing personally what I'm being accused of. And that's why I want to know what my process. You want me to go get a lawyer and to file all that stuff?
You don't need a lawyer to file a FOIL request. Pretty simple.
And then if you get an email, then it's.
Unless I get a denial.
Well, then you.
It can be denied. But why does not the code enforcement report what those violations and follow-ups are? He's not even gonna be here the next 2 Mondays, so I can't even go see him then. So how's he gonna enforce your upcoming law that you're looking at? Is it sidebar? Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I would say get in contact with Jen. she can help you with that.
I'll start with that with her, thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
Pete Thorman,
Yes, Pete?
quick question about the windmill farm that's most likely going in. I know with Lafayette and Tully and one other community, they get a host credit for allowing the buildings being there, right? The towers, whatever. But if you look at the map, parts of Preble are within a mile of some of those towers. Have we considered reaching out to see if there's some sort of credit we could get for the neighbors who are going to be directly impacted by that? I mean, I know we're not in the host communities, but if some of them are going to be right on top of people on Song Lake going slightly north.
Our code enforcement officer, Rick Fritz, informed me today that there's an inquiry from this company that builds these towers to build one on Curtin Road in Preble, but they have not actually applied for anything yet. They have not put anything in writing yet. It's just, right now, it's in the very preliminary stages. So we don't know that much about it yet. But,
And would the town have any, I know it's up to the state will just come down and say, you're getting us, right? But do we have any recourse if it comes to that?
we don't know yet because we haven't had an application submitted yet. Anybody else? Anything? Yes?
Mine's a concern. A while ago, I messed up my knee and I tore the ACL and MCL. Don't laugh, Mike, it wasn't pretty. And I tried to access the post office. And there's no handicap parking signs. And if you park 90 degrees to the sidewalk, then you're over the sidewalk or you're in the street. So I figured that out. I parked probably illegally, but there's no signs that tell me I wasn't illegal. But then when I went up to the door, I was able to get in the door, but there's one heck of a hump as you go in the door. And mine was a temporary problem. But if you have someone who's navigating consistently with a walker or a wheelchair, your accessibility for your town hall and post office is sorely lacking. So I don't know if that's in a future budget. Also, there's no signage on how to park, I guess. I mean, I haven't lived here permanently for a totally long time, but I know even in a small town of Marathon, there was handicap parking and handicap parking signs clearly noted. So I just would encourage the board to look at that. And I mean, I looked at the population tonight at the meeting, and some of us aren't getting any younger. And that access to those public buildings are going to become more and more difficult, and especially when the snow and the ice get here. So it's not just for me, it's for a lot of people who may need to access that building or want to and don't. So,
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else? Yes?
Nancy Rittenhouse, did the Cortland County Sheriff's radar machine ever did they find out who vandalized it? And if not, is the town trouble gonna pay for?
Yeah, I know nothing about
damage?
that situation,
Yeah,
unless anyone else here does.
they haven't found anything.
Did you know something about this, Kevin?
Just for what the sheriff said, that it was damaged.
Okay.
I thought the sheriff, he worked there, that's his.
Where was the sign located?
I thought it was, so,
Song Road, Song Lake Road? Okay.
No, it was
No.
on, it was
on
on
Preble
Preble
Road.
Road,
Okay.
near, at Corey Stage's house.
Right across the street. That's up to the sheriff to take care of that.
well, he asked for if anyone had any information on the news.
Okay. Anybody else with anything? Okay, if nobody else has any questions or comments, then we need a motion to adjourn the town board meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay.